The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And we are in the Wicked Weed studio live. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene, and this is the Sportsocracy. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And it is a very rainy Wednesday morning here in the Wicked Weed studio. And last night we had the Final Four get set. We're now down to Gonzaga, Baylor, UCLA, and Houston. If you had that on your bracket, you're a witch.
You're the devil.
I think they said this morning on ESPN that it was something like 0.03% of brackets had this Final Four.
Yeah, you want me to tell you a fun stat about UCLA? And this is why it's so fucking difficult to bet the NCAA tournament. UCLA's last two games, they played Alabama and Michigan, the 1 and 2 seed in their region. Those two teams have combined to go 17 of 36 from the free throw line and 10 of 39 from three-point range. They won one of them in overtime. They won the other one by 2. Gonzaga is going to smoke them like a deli meat.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck what that number is. I don't care if it's Gonzaga by 22. I'm in.
Oh, have they put a line on it yet?
Give me a minute, I'll tell you.
Gonzaga minus 14. I told you, that is the number that I called this morning.
It won't stay there.
I said
people will bet it down.
I will be shocked if it's any less than 14.
It will get bet down. Have no fear.
Right. Gonzaga is, they are on the path to righteousness here. It could not have gone any better for them. UCLA has not been playing great basketball. They've just been playing good enough to win. And that's fine. Survive and advance. That's what the tournament's all about, right?
Oh, Johnny Jizzbang's been playing pretty well.
Juzang.
I don't give a shit.
Johnny Juzang.
I'm sick. I'm angry. It's Christopher Walken's birthday, and I got a fever.
You don't have a fever.
No, you're right. I don't.
Thank you.
I don't. I actually
if you
don't
had a fever, I'd send you home.
You would send me home.
I'd send you home.
Okay, boss.
That's right. Don't ever forget
Send me home.
28 points last night for Johnny Juzang as UCLA outlasted Michigan 51-49. It was the most god-awful basketball game to try to stay awake for, and I couldn't do it. And when I woke up and I saw the final score, I went, that's special.
I was heavily medicated by cold medicine and sleeping pills.
Because the thing that went through my mind was not, good for Mick Cronin and UCLA. You know, going first four to Final Four, the first team to do it since 2011. No, the first thing that went through my mind was Gonzaga's going to embarrass y'all on national television.
Yeah, they usually don't allow snuff films on television, but CBS is going to air one next weekend.
It's definitely going to be a mugging at least. Because last night, again, Gonzaga goes through, and it didn't really look like they had any challenge in their game against USC. The whole Evan Mobley thing.
It don't always work out for a ninja.
No.
And that, oh boy. And I knew it within like 2 minutes. God, no.
Yeah, it was not close from the tip. I mean, they immediately jumped out to what, a 15-point lead early in the first half.
It was a lot.
It
never got all that close.
Here's the thing of Gonzaga, everything looks so easy with them. Like, it felt like half of their baskets last night were not even contested. They just rolled so easily in that game. And I'm going to stick to what I've been saying since, what has it been, November? That Gonzaga is head and shoulders above everybody else in college basketball, including the Baylor Bears.
Yeah, I wanted to fight that. I can't anymore. I thought Gonzaga would fold like a deck chair at some point because the expectations would be too high. They're actually just that damn good. This is Gonzaga Baylor. Frankly, we could skip the 2 Final Four games. Sorry, Houston. Sorry, UCLA. It just doesn't matter.
I mean, I don't know. Houston's got a shot to have a good game against Baylor, but no.
Michael Rappaport had a better shot against Kevin Durant than either of these two teams have in the Final Four.
Oh, what is
With your
it?
punk ass.
With his pale punk ass.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you can find it on Twitter very easily.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant is a douche.
Yeah, Michael Rappaport was criticizing Kevin Durant for a post-game press conference, and Kevin Durant didn't like it too much. I mean, he was telling him, meet me down on West 17th Street on the corner, and I will beat the shit out of you.
Kevin Durant, I do need to say this. You do realize you weigh about $190, right? Like, and before you're wanting to throw hands, you might want to try to de-escalate the situation with your words.
Do you think Michael Rappaport could take him in a fight?
I think my wife could take him in a fight, if I'm being really honest.
Really? I mean,
Kevin
he's got the
Durant,
reach.
Okay. He's also got arms like olive oil, so I'm not that worried about Kevin Durant. I kept hoping Michael Rappaport would just come back with, all right, you little punk bitch. I'll be there. Michael Rappaport, his accent alone tells me that dude can probably throw.
Oh,
It's been a minute, but he can probably throw.
I mean, this is a guy who grew up on the streets of New York and has probably been in a scrap or two.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, as loudmouth as he is, you're going to get in a couple of fights in your life.
Hi.
No, I mean, I'll take Michael
Kevin
Rappaport.
Durant, I'd hop on a jet. If you had said that shit to me, I would be on a plane just standing on the corner spinning around like, what'd he do?
Yeah, and then apparently KD's lawyer got a call from Michael Rappaport's lawyer.
Now
and
that's where you lost me.
That started some shit. Like, oh, what, are you a pussy? You called your lawyer? I'm inviting you down on the street to have a scrap, and now you're going to call your lawyer? I think maybe Michael Rappaport knows he's not going to be able to win that fight.
Against Kevin Durant. You do remember Kevin Durant famously did one rep on the bench at the combine, right?
Yes.
And it's not like the NFL combine. Their bar's 175.
That's like that's why during that draft run-up, I was going, no, Kevin Durant, this is a bust. He's not going to be any good. Greg Oden, he's definitely the number one pick in this draft.
People in the comments are encouraging me to do recreational drugs to get rid of my cold.
Oh, really?
Purple drink, cough syrup, lean. I've seen them all three already. On a completely unrelated note, if you know where to procure those things, send me a private message.
Yeah.
Because I feel so bad that I'm willing. I don't take Advil. And I'm to the point of, hey, you know what? If it'll make me feel better, I just don't give a shit.
Ooh, basketball cage match between Kevin Durant and Manute Bol. That'll be a classic. Adam Black threw that one out.
Yeah, I don't think Manute Bol would put up much of a fight at this point. He's only been dead for 10 years.
Has he? Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah,
I didn't even know he was.
I
didn't even know he was dead.
He's been dead for a minute. Let's see. He died. Oh, I was exactly right. June 19th, 2010.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bol then. How about Bol?
Bol.
We'll put Bol in that match. Oh, Bol squared. I don't see a path where anybody else cuts down the nets at the end of the Final Four other than Gonzaga, which leads me to the question of, are they the greatest team we've ever seen in college basketball? They have been one of the what?
The GOAT talk.
Yeah, the GOAT talk. Oh, here we go, GOAT talk. Are they the best team we've ever seen in college basketball? They are definitely, they have to be up there statistically in how dominant they've been. They haven't had a game within 10 points all year long.
I'm still going to say
only
no.
one, excuse me. I think they had an 8-point win over BYU at one point. This is the only game that they've had that's been within 10 points.
I'm going to go with no because you play in the West Coast Conference.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I come down as well.
You spend a lot of time playing Pepperdine.
Right. Well, I mean, you think about the greatest college basketball teams of all time. I mean, you always have, the UNLV always gets thrown in there.
Yeah, they were real good.
The 90-91 UNLV team.
Yeah, those dudes went to the NBA and took a pay cut.
Larry Johnson and Stacey Augmon and who else was on that team? Greg Anthony. Greg Anthony. There was another one that was really good. Anderson Hunt. But there again, they came from a small conference. And so they get a little knock for that. And I think Gonzaga gets the same kind of treatment. the fact that
I just think you can't possibly have the best team in college basketball when you don't have the best players in college basketball.
Wait. Who has better players than them? A better collection of players.
I'm talking about how many wind up in the G League or overseas or whatever the case may be.
Well, I mean, there's a big difference between the college game and the pro game. And, right?
There's a difference, yes.
Right.
The biggest difference is that nobody in the college game can shoot.
That's fair. But you look at the greatest players of all time in college basketball. I mean, there are a lot of guys that are on that list that weren't anything in the NBA.
Tyler Hansbrough.
Bingo. That's one.
Jay Williams.
That was a motorcycle accident. Not saying he would have came in and been, you know, Allen Iverson great.
J.J. Redick. How has that fool lasted in the league this long?
Because he can shoot. Because he can shoot threes like nobody's business.
Yeah, it's proof positive that if you have one skill, you have a role in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Grayson Allen. Wouldn't he wind up on that list? Yeah. He'd wind up on that greatest college basketball players of all time list, wouldn't he?
He would end up on that Kevin Durant list of biggest bitch. Ooh,
nice.
Certainly. If you notice that every guy that winds up on that list is somebody whose ass I could kick, notice I don't ever say that about I don't know, Carlos Boozer or John Jones. No.
Zion Williamson.
Yep. I love Zion. Zion is officially the new Dookie that I love. And I knew it from very early on.
I think he might be the only Dookie
Jay Billis
that I've ever loved.
I still love Jay Billis.
See, I didn't know Jay Billis as a player. So
neither did I, because he graduated when I was -5 years old.
Right. But as an analyst, sure, I like him.
But you still know he's attached to Duke because he makes it very clear.
Oh, I do. But I've also been the guy who, over the years, when every other Tar Heel fan is talking, oh, you can't listen to Jay Billis, he's just a Dookie. No, I actually believe Jay Billis is very, very, what's the word?
Bald.
Objective.
Tall. Oh.
Objective was what I was looking for.
I played the game wrong.
He could talk about his team objectively. He could talk about Carolina objectively. When they're really good, he's going to talk about both of them equally, is kind of my point. It's always been my point with Jay Billis. But, I mean, they have 3 of the best basketball players in college basketball this year. It's a great collection of talent. And they've dominated every game that they've been in. And I frankly think they have the best chance of any team since 1976 to run the table and become the next undefeated national champion.
And there's going to be an asterisk next to it forever. Because it was the Rona year, and you had games canceled, and you didn't play Baylor in the regular season, and you were supposed to.
I don't think that's going to matter.
You're wrong.
Because they're going to get them in the national championship game.
God bless America, you're wrong. If you think, legitimately, that there will not be people, the college basketball purists that says, hey, it doesn't count, you're drunk.
Well, I'm sure all of them have red and white striped overalls on every week. It's only the Indiana fans that are going to say that.
And me. I'll say it too.
Why?
It's Rona year. It doesn't count.
Wait, this is the same guy who still claims Florida State was defending national champions from last year.
Wow, winning.
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do.
You were maddeningly inconsistent on this one.
It's fine.
We've had several teams get to this point, though, since 1976, be undefeated, get into the Final Four, or get real deep into the tournament, and every one of them have tripped up at some point. I mean, even UNLV. Remember, they dominated everybody throughout that season, and then they ran into a Duke team that they couldn't handle. I don't see that happening with Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga Baylor's got the chance to be a fantastic championship game. But I still think it ends up as like an 8-point game at the end of it. Gonzaga will win the national title, and Mark Few will finally get his national title. And I think everybody is all of these coaches are fully validated now. I mean, Kelvin Sampson getting back to the Final Four again is something that I don't think I ever thought I would see. And now with Mick Cronin, I think this is probably his high water mark.
Oh, 100%. He's a good coach, though.
He is a good coach. I mean, remember, he had Cincinnati as I'm not going to say a national power, but they were
pretty good.
They were damn good, right? They were definitely the power in the AAC when they switched over from the Big East, but they were a player in the Big East as well.
Can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
The last time that Mick Cronin didn't win 20 games in a season and didn't make the NCAA tournament was 2009.
Jesus.
He's won over 20 games at 2 different programs. Well, that's a lie. He went 19-12 last year with UCLA. Sorry, there was a cut there.
Yeah.
That's the only season he hasn't won over 20 games and went.
Well, and see, even that has to have an asterisk on it because the season was cut short. If he'd had a conference championship, a conference tournament, he'd have got to 20 wins.
Yeah,
and they would have been in the tournament.
I don't know that they would have been in the tournament. It would have been close.
I mean, they were a bubble team.
Yeah.
They could have possibly been back-to-back first 4 appearances from this year. But here you go. I said it when the first 4 began. If there was a first 4 team that was going to make the run, I thought it was Michigan State. And UCLA took care of business against them and then has run through their bracket. And, yeah, they got some breaks. The stat that he threw out about Alabama and Michigan just shooting the ball horribly, again, I don't feel like that's a credit or a full credit to UCLA's defense. They've gotten kind of lucky. And sometimes you got to get that. I mean, look at Houston. Houston rolled through their bracket. They didn't play anybody higher than a 10 seed on their way to the Final Four. What?
I love Twitter so much. I'm going to share this on my Twitter at @JGreenESPN. It's a comedian that I know. Posted a picture of Christopher Walken and said, "Happy birthday to Christopher Walken. Tremendous actor, great career, and let's not forget he started out as Scarlett Johansson." He looks exactly like Scarlett Johansson when he was younger.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. I'm tweeting it right now. I'm tweeting it right now. He looks exactly like Scarlett Johansson. It's weird, and I don't like it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I know I'm not. I know I'm not. Need to move right the fuck on by that because that is.
That's disturbing. That's one of those things that you'll never unsee.
Nope.
Yeah. So I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would encourage you to go check that out. It might ruin all of your fantasies.
I do. At @JGreenESPN on Twitter.
Oh, geez.
Let's talk about football.
Yeah, let's talk about football.
I'm tired of college basketball.
Really?
Oh, God. I'm
Already?
so ready for this to be fucking
You
over.
done?
Oh, I'm so ready for this
You're
to be
just
over.
so pissed off after Florida State lost
I feel
that you
this
can't
way
do it
every
anymore?
year. I do. I
Really?
get tournament exhaustion. I watch less Final Four than I do of any weekend of this tournament. Percentage-wise.
That's insane.
I'm
the complete opposite.
I get worn out with it. I don't care. I don't care.
I'm the complete opposite. The deeper it gets into the tournament, the more I watch. Because
I can't wait to
less
see how
games.
bad the ratings for this are because they are going to be awful.
They are. You got 2 West Coast teams and 2 Texas teams.
3 West Coast teams. In the Elite Eight, you had 2 California teams, a Washington team, 2 from Texas, you had 1 from Oregon.
Oregon, yeah.
Who am I forgetting? Michigan.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember the other one. I've already forgot. I've already put it out in my brain.
I've already forgotten who it was. In the Final Four, you got 2 Texas teams and 2 West Coast teams.
Yeah. Woo.
And the East Coast is the one that
drives the number.
Yes.
It doesn't matter on the East Coast. It doesn't matter, period. And that's not me being a East Coast back. That's the truth. Mm-hmm. That's also why you shouldn't be putting, Gonzaga USC should have been the late game yesterday. Should have been. Mm-hmm. UCLA and Michigan should have been the early game. Mm-hmm. You did that wrong. It's okay, NCAA. You do a lot of things wrong. Yeah. I'm kind of getting used to it.
Well, unfortunately, it didn't really matter in the end. One was a fucking blowout, and the other one was a god-awful game.
Yeah, but the one that was actually good didn't end until midnight. Mm-hmm. That game didn't end until 12:05. on the East Coast. Now, on the West Coast, it's 9:05. You can still go to a bar. Mm-hmm. Have fun. Maybe a little tapas. Some appetizers, drinks. God, why do I live on the East Coast? I will never understand. With my sensibilities being what they are, I will never understand how I haven't wound up on the West Coast. And I'm going to retire there. You mark my
Why?
words.
Because it's more time to do shit after your sports are over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever been to the West Coast?
No.
It's so different. Jonathan Welch, I know he lives on the West Coast.
Yeah.
He can vouch this for me. It is so different to consume sports on the West Coast than it is out here.
Right.
Think about it. How often do you have games like, I'll give you an example. Sunday night football. Mm-hmm. Kicks off at 5:30 in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. Football on Sunday starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. You don't think that's better?
No.
Really? Oh,
no,
God, I do.
Because this
do.
way on the East Coast, I get to sleep in.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm good.
You don't care. This from the guy who's been out on Saturday night drinking until 3 a.m. You don't care that you get to sleep in for a couple of more hours before.
Sleep. I'm the devil.
Oh, you don't sleep during football season?
Yeah. I've had many people tell me I'm not human. How I'm still living is kind of shocking. Uh-huh. I sleep less than any grown man you've ever met in your life. Except maybe our SEO guy. I think he's got me beat.
Yeah, no.
The guy that does our website and things like that, I'm not sure he's not Count Dracula.
Yeah, Troy is a different animal.
He sleeps like 30 minutes every 8 hours or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he told me.
It was an hour.
It was an hour every 8 hours.
He sleeps an hour every 8 hours. And that way he's able to maximize his working, his work schedule, and he's able to get enough rest that way.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. I really don't.
I could do it.
I need to have at least 3.5 hours of sleep concurrently.
I've done this show before where I haven't slept in 2 days. Like I'm on day 3 of no sleep.
Right now?
No.
Oh.
I've done it before.
Yes, I know you
It's
have.
usually very obvious because I'm very angry.
And he's usually got the sunglasses on.
No, those are benders. That's different. Those are usually on Sundays. Notice I do a lot less shows with sunglasses on when we don't do shows on Sundays.
Yeah. Well, see, that's kind of my point. See, if we did that on the West Coast, you'd have to get up at 7 a.m. to do that show.
Patrick Holt, you're one of my favorite people on planet Earth. Yeah. He said Kramer tried that once, ended up in the East River.
It doesn't help to have debris in the middle of the bell.
Mike Gord's in the Kevin Vick Memorial Bell. There it is.
Yep, don't work all that well. Yeah, I mean, I've always thought that it would be an interesting thing to be able to wake up on a Sunday morning, first thing, wake up at 9:30, take your shower, and football kicks off at 10.
Do you remember the England games? Oh, so good.
Oh, God.
So good. Kicks off at 9 o'clock in the morning. Hey, you got football all day.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But then on the West Coast, then you got to get up at 6 to see the game.
That's fine. I'll just call it all
6 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Don't touch my Sunday morning,
We'll just
please.
go all nighty. No big deal. I'll leave the bar at 3. Go home, keep drinking, never stop partying.
Mm-hmm. It is a wonder how you're still alive.
My doctor looked at me and said I'm a modern marvel of medical science. I did a food journal one time and he thought I was lying. I went, no, I did exactly what you told me to do. He was like, you do realize 35% of your calories come from beer, right? Thought it was higher.
Damn.
It's trying to
I
qualify.
was shooting for 50.
They said if I got over 40, I would legally die.
The NFL yesterday set the 17-game schedule. So we are going to have 17 regular season games now.
And it blows my mind how many people are bitching about that. Hey, Alvin Kamara, shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's stupid. Okay. Keep telling yourself that 5 years from now when the salary cap's $40 million higher. You do realize the players got everything they wanted to do this, right?
Yes.
And you're still bitching.
Mm-hmm. You just can't please some people.
And I'm not one of those that says you play a child's game and you're paying millions of dollars. Shut up. I hate that person. I wish they would deactivate your social media if you ever said that out loud. Because it makes me so angry.
No, it's the next part of the conversation that makes me angry. Is well, we don't pay teachers millions of dollars.
Well,
every
there's
year.
also not, nobody pays teachers. Nobody pays to watch teachers work.
Exactly.
Sorry, it's just it's that fair thing. Mm-hmm. Sorry, it's not fair. Fair is the stupidest word in the English language.
17 regular season games now, and Roger Goodell says we will have full stadiums in the 2021 season.
Yeah, we will. And every member of the woke media went, that's so irresponsible!
At some point. I think at some point. I don't think we're going to start the season with full stadiums.
Bet we do. I'm sure be cool if you did.
Mainly, I'm thinking about the California teams, the West Coast teams, Seattle, both the LAs. I don't know that you're going to get full stadiums.
The Falcons in Georgia are actually going to set other people in the laps of people that buy seats.
Yes.
Like children on an airplane.
Yes.
You can actually set your buddy in your lap, and we'll double up on all the seats because Georgia.
Which is great for us because Atlanta's so close. It's just a little jaunt down the mountain.
Adam Black has made two really good points. West Coast Jeremy would have been canceled twice in the last 6 minutes.
Yep. Very much so.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Between the rain
Apparently
and people...
we got debris just flying into the side of the building here.
Yeah, it's... metal roofs are fun.
Do we have tornado sirens? Are there tornado sirens? Listen out for those. I love the fact that we're getting more regular season football. I mean, I realize that last week of the season is pretty much crap anyway. You only have a couple of games that matter in week 17. Now it's going to be that way for week 18. Do you think it extends and now we have 2 weeks of meaningless football at the end of the season?
Yes, I do. That's the thing that made me laugh is all the guys that are bitching about this are star players that won't play in that last game 7 out of 10
regardless. Except for Alvin Kamara. Because they're going to be lucky to be fighting for a playoff spot. They're not going to be that bad.
They're going to be pretty bad.
Really?
Who's their quarterback?
Jameis Winston.
Or
Taysom Hill, who's not going to see. I'll be surprised if he sees 50 snaps at quarterback this year.
That boy ain't right.
He's not. You're not right. You're going to see way more Taysom Hill than you think.
You think Sean Payton's going to go with the rotation?
I don't know what he's going to do. I don't claim to know what he's going to do. I know he's paying Taysom Hill $11 billion. Mm-hmm. And he's not doing that for him to carry a clipboard.
No, he's still going to play him, but he's not going to be the primary quarterback.
We shall see.
I guess so. I think the Saints will be much better than 4-13. Now I'm having to do the calculations for a 17-game season in my head. This is going to take some getting used to. But yesterday they had the big pro days. Mac Jones, Justin Fields. Did you, Mr. Scout, did you see anything? Did you hear anything that concerned you or made you change your mind maybe a little bit on either of these guys?
The discrepancy on Mac Jones is hilarious to me. That's why you don't throw twice. You throw twice and you give people like me way more opportunity to dissect everything you do. Mm-hmm. I've heard he helped himself. I've heard he destroyed himself. In my opinion, he's exactly where he was. I still think there's a possibility he goes at 3 to San Francisco. Mm-hmm. I still think it's more likely that Trey Lance goes at 3 to San Francisco and Mac Jones falls somewhere in that 8 range to Carolina.
8, yeah. 8. That's the floor.
That's what I think. Mm-hmm. The thing that made me laugh is how much Justin Fields bullshit I had to hear after he ran a 4.44 yesterday. Cool. That's like saying, hey, look, I bought this car and it has velvet in the cup holders. Ha, 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 ha.
It's the second fastest 40 time for a quarterback, right? RG3 holds the record.
RG3 has the fastest one that was actually clocked. Lamar Jackson claims he ran a 4.34 at Louisville's Pro Day. Or it was actually I think they called it a speed day back then.
Yeah.
Because it was all agility drills.
So I guess if they're counting this in the official times as the number 2 official time, Do you know who's third on that list?
I do. Oh, this is going to piss me off.
I know who it is. I'm just saying if you could come. Okay, all right.
That's third on that list. Yep. RG3's 1, Justin Fields is 2.
Yep.
It's not Mariota. He ran a 4.53. Is it Mariota?
Yep. Mariota with a 4.53.
So 4.53. I know that one definitively.
Yeah.
Was it? Wow.
He was the third fastest.
That was the name that kept ringing in my head.
So you're telling me
somebody had run a 4.4. I might be thinking of Terrell Pryor, who actually worked out as a receiver, so he doesn't qualify.
Right.
Worked out as a receiver, was drafted as a quarterback. So.
But he was also drafted in that supplemental draft.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. They still.
Oh, they count those in the big boy stats.
They can. It depends on how they do pro days and things like that.
Right.
A lot of those guys will do, like Josh Gordon did an actual pro day at Baylor where he ran the 40 and did all kinds of shit, and they will count that.
Yeah. But you're telling me, we should be so, enamored with this 4.40 that Justin Fields just ran. If your other two quarterbacks that you're comparing him to are RG3 and Marcus Mariota, is he worth the third pick in the draft?
No.
I mean, Marcus Spears was on ESPN TV yesterday talking about how the Jets should definitely take Justin Fields at 2 rather than taking Zach Wilson.
And that's why he's an analyst and not a GM, because that is stupid.
Right. And then I have seen Panther fans just goo-goo over Justin Fields in his 4.40. Just, think he could possibly be there at 8. If you do that at 8, you are dooming the franchise. That is going to be a pick that you cannot come back from.
Justin Fields is not good.
I'm planting my flag on Justin Fields is going to be a bust in this draft. Now, that shouldn't say anything to anybody because last year I planted my flag on Justin Herbert being a bust. So, what do I know?
I'm getting live updates from LSU's pro day. Jamar Chase is a real athletic individual.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
41-inch vert.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
That's pretty. That doesn't suck.
Mm-hmm. And that's why he's going to go in the top 5 of the draft.
The funny thing, I heard Colin Cowherd talking about this yesterday, that statistically, 4 out of every 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round is a bust. Mm-hmm. First of all, that's bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit. He was calling Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa bust, so go get somewhere.
Stop that.
I understand you're trying to get clicks. I like clicks, too. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, click that little thumb right below me. Thank you. The thing about the draft is it 100% matters where you go. How many quarterbacks and my new favorite comparison is Josh Allen.
Okay.
Let's say Deshaun Watson had gone, because the Bills were interested in Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. Just let that be known. Mm-hmm. They eventually traded that pick to Kansas City, and it became Pat Mahomes.
Right.
How different would things be for Deshaun Watson if he'd gone to Buffalo?
Very.
Massage parlors aside. I don't think that's something that changes based on geographic location, but
no.
I'm talking about from a career standpoint. Last year, he's throwing to Stephon Diggs behind that offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that's better?
Absolutely.
'Cause I do. I 100% do.
Mm-hmm.
And a year later, they take Josh Allen, who fits into that scheme perfectly. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you another question. Josh Allen's my favorite here. Josh Allen was an MVP candidate last year. You know the other team that almost took him in that draft?
Who?
The New York Jets, Jets. They almost took Pat Mahomes at 6 the year before, almost took Josh Allen at 3 instead of Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Do you think their careers would be a little bit different?
Oh, yeah.
Pat Mahomes not throwing to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Instead, he's throwing heaters at Braxton Berrios and Chris Herndon. Think he's signing a $500 million deal that way? Me neither.
So what you're saying is it doesn't necessarily mean that if a quarterback gets drafted in the first round, it depends on what team they go to as to whether or not they can be successful.
The Cleveland Browns have taken 5 quarterbacks in the first round in the last 20 years. Yep. Well, 22 years going back to Tim Couch.
Yep.
There's a reason for that, because your culture blows. Mm-hmm. That's the reason that Rob Salah's been screaming culture. How many times did he say it in his opening press conference? I told you this. He said it like 11 times. Mm-hmm. There's a reason for that. You know who hasn't taken a billion quarterbacks in the first round? Kansas City Chiefs. Can you name the quarterback they took in the first round before Pat Mahomes?
The Kansas City Chiefs?
Mm-hmm. If you get this right, you're a fucking witch.
Todd Blackledge.
Wow. Todd Blackledge.
Todd Blackledge.
The only one that was coming to my mind
80s.
was Aaron Murray, and I knew he was like a fourth-round pick.
Five.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, Todd Blackledge was the last quarterback they took up there. New Orleans, you care to take a stab at who the last quarterback they took in the first round was?
Who?
Archie Manning. Funny how that works out.
Yeah.
Funny how the Bills have a lot of J.P. Losmans and E.J. Manuels, and then they change the whole culture, and all of a sudden they hit a Josh Allen. I'm going to go.
The Browns have drafted a quarterback. Just drafted a quarterback almost every year.
Yeah. The Green Bay Packers used to have a philosophy of they did draft a quarterback every year.
I mean, they had Tim Couch, and then the next year they drafted Spurgeon Wynn. Then they did go a couple of years, and then it went Luke McCown, Charlie Fry, Brady Quinn,
Charlie Fry. And Charlie Fry was the second-round pick. He can almost be counted as another first-round bust.
Colt McCoy, Brandon Whedon, Johnny Manziel, Cody Kessler, Deshaun Kaiser, Baker Mayfield. They've drafted, what was that? 12 quarterbacks in a span of 14 years? Mm-hmm. Bad franchises make bad decisions.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. It's not rocket surgery. Everybody tries to make it that. It's really not. I mean, think back on the drafts. I've been doing this in a vocal medium for, 4 years now? Mm-hmm. Who did I really like? Joe Burrow. I liked that. I wasn't as high on Herbert, but I didn't hate it. Mm-hmm. Didn't hate Tua Tagovailoa. Liked Kyler Murray. Hated Daniel Jones. Hated Dwayne Haskins. Hated Baker Mayfield. Hated Josh Rosen. Hated Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. I'm batting a pretty fucking high percentage there. Mm-hmm. And Sam Darnold gone to Cleveland and had the weapons that Baker Mayfield has, I fully believe they'd have been in the Super Bowl this year.
Mitch, were you a believer in Mitch Trubisky?
No, he was my third quarterback. I had Mahomes and Deshaun Watson ahead of him. Don't ask me where I had them rated because that doesn't play into my fun little narrative.
You had them rated about where C.J. Beathard was drafted.
I had Mahomes in the second round, Deshaun Watson in the third, and I had Trubisky as a 4.
Yeah.
I laughed until I almost peed on myself when they traded up to get Mitch Trubisky. I mean, it's not rocket science.
Still
all these guys are talented. What matters is where you end up. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll be honest with you, and let's be really honest here. Jacksonville's a bad situation. Yeah. It is. Whether you like it or not, Jacksonville's a bad situation. I don't give a fuck how good Trevor Lawrence is. It's a bad franchise. The Jets, it's getting better. I think Joe Douglas and Salah are trending in the right direction. It's still a bad franchise. Mm-hmm. If you told me they fucked Zach Wilson up, would I be shocked? No. You did it with Darnold. Mm-hmm. Now, I had slightly more reservations about Darnold than I do currently about Zach Wilson. Every problem I have with Zach Wilson goes into maturity and personality and what's going to happen when he gets paid, and very little of it's on the field. Mm-hmm. Mac Jones. We know exactly what Mac Jones is. You know exactly what he is. He's Rex Grossman 2.0. You feel great about drafting that at 3? I don't.
And I don't think
Trey Lance is a wild card, and Justin Fields is exactly what I've said he is.
Right.
I have Justin Fields in the 3rd round right now, by the way, just in case you're curious.
Well, we all know that's not going to happen.
I famously said I wouldn't take Josh Rosen if there were 100 rounds of the draft. I wouldn't take him in the 100th round.
Yeah.
I don't feel that. I'm not that drastic with Justin Fields. I think he needs to sit. He needs to learn how to be a pro. He needs to learn some of the things I've heard about him are very unsettling. Very entitled kid. He's been the most athletic kid on every field he's ever played on. You know where that doesn't tend to work well? The NFL. Because guess what you won't be? The most athletic guy on every field you ever play on. Mm-hmm. Guys that rely on, this is a sweeping declaration. Guys that rely on their athleticism to get them to the NFL, they don't tend to hone their craft. I like guys like Mac Jones way more than I like Justin Fields. Justin Fields has 4.4 speed. He's had that probably since he was a senior in high school. You know who doesn't have that? The average kid he was playing against in high school. The average kid he played against with Ohio State and Georgia in college. Mm-hmm. You get to the NFL, and 4.4 is cool, but we got guys that run 4.29. We have defensive ends like Jason Owa that ran a 4.36. Right. Cool. Yeah, tell me you're going to outrun him there, pudding pants, because I bet you don't. So you know what you're going to have to do then? You're going to have to learn how to throw the fucking ball. Yeah. And he's never done that. Mm-hmm. His arm is average at best. It takes his whole body to put one to 60 yards, and he underthrows them constantly.
Mm-hmm. How much time does your pocket time drop between college and the NFL? Just a guesstimation.
Half.
Yeah. And Justin Fields is bad.
And the number one knock on Justin Fields, he holds the ball too long.
Yeah, and he's been bad
when the
under
blitz comes,
pressure.
he turns into a deer staring in the headlights. Mm-hmm. How's that going to work in the NFL? I mean, it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
I've said this about a lot of guys, and you know what happens? They get it. Deshaun Watson, I said the exact same thing about him. And guess what was the biggest knock on Deshaun Watson? He holds the fucking ball too long. He gets sacked more than any quarterback in the NFL, and it's not all on his line. Mm-hmm. Adam Black asked me if DJ Uiagalelei will be higher rated than Trevor Lawrence. The answer to that is an unequivocal no. Uiagalelei will be an NFL quarterback. He will not be. Trevor Lawrence is the highest rated quarterback I've ever had.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, DJ Uiagalelei may be the next quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's...
No, they'll take quarterback next year.
Oh, that's right.
Keaton Slovis or Sam Howell, we're looking at you.
Yeah.
Enjoy that, throwing to Jalen Reagor and me.
You got to be praying. That's the bad thing. You're praying for the Detroit Lions to suck enough so you don't end up with the Houston Texans or the Philadelphia Eagles.
Can I ask you a question? And this is totally off the beaten path of what we prepped for to do on the show.
Okay.
Has the bottom of the NFL ever been worse than it is right now? God. Have the worst four teams in the NFL ever been worse than they are right now? If you told me the Detroit Lions and Houston Texans went 0-17, both, would it shock you?
Yes.
Wouldn't me. Wouldn't me in the least.
I was shocked when both the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets didn't go undefeated or go completely defeated this past year.
But it would shock you if those two would.
Yeah, because it's hard to do. It's hard to lose every game. Just like it's hard to win in this league week in and week out, it's hard to lose every game.
Yeah, not when you're trotting out Jared Goff with Tyrell Williams and Brett Perriman, boy. Mm-hmm. Brashad. God, I couldn't remember his first fucking name. I put it out of my head. I know. I put it out of my head. His bones are made of popsicle sticks. Very rare condition. Every time he sneezes, something breaks.
Right.
Very rare conditions, like Benjamin Button disorder. Don't say very often.
I don't know. I mean, you're gonna end up playing a couple of teams that every year that you've got a chance to beat, and so it's hard to go completely defeated. Just it's not as hard as it is to go undefeated. But
all right, let's play a fun game. Just since you said that.
Yeah.
Here's who they play next year.
Okay.
All right, so obviously the 6 games in the division. 2 with the Packers, 2 with the Lions, or 2 with the Vikings, 2 with the Bears.
Yep.
They're going to lose all 6 of those.
More than likely, yes.
At the Falcons.
Loss.
At the Browns.
Loss.
Arizona Cardinals.
Loss.
San Francisco 49ers.
Loss.
Baltimore Ravens.
Loss.
Cincinnati Bengals.
That's a game they could win.
It's a loss. It's a loss. It's a loss. Joe Burrow with probably Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd against the worst secondary in the NFL. Loss. Philadelphia Eagles. That's the one they might win. Mm-hmm. At the Rams, at the Steelers, at the Seahawks, at the Broncos. Hot. If they win more than 2 games, I'm convinced Dan Campbell's the devil.
But even the Jets beat the Rams this year.
Well, they didn't mean to.
But that's what I'm saying. It's hard to project these things. Do we expect that they're going to be 1-2 in the draft next year? Absolutely. But going completely defeated.
I see no path that Philadelphia, Houston, Detroit aren't the top 3 picks in next year's draft. Mm-hmm. All 3 needing a quarterback, and you're going to have Sam Howell, Keaton Slovis, and blank.
Rattler.
It won't be Spencer Rattler.
You don't think he's coming out?
Hell, because I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. His tape last year was brutally bad. In a system that props up quarterbacks. Yeah, he's not an NFL quarterback.
I mean, later in the season, he started to look like the guy
He started to look like he had a pulse. Good for him. Still doesn't look like an NFL quarterback.
Okay.
I like Tyler Shook markedly better than I like Spencer Rattler.
There's one.
Yeah, but he's going to Texas Tech. As
Where
a
he's
grad
gonna put up
transfer,
numbers.
as a sophomore. There's words that you don't hear put together very often.
A grad transfer as a sophomore.
He's going into Texas Tech as a sophomore.
Damn.
He's a grad transfer.
Was he a redshirt? Okay. So he completed his classes in 3 years. I mean, that's been done before.
He's a pretty sharp kid.
I mean, how Russell
Adam Black
Wilson
asked me, am I assuming Deshaun won't play? I don't care if he plays or not. If he doesn't play, they'll go 0-17 because they're going to have Tyrod Taylor throwing to me. Name a receiver on that team.
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, you got one.
Kiki Kuti.
What are they going to do for the 14 weeks out of the year that he's hurt?
They will end up playing, I don't know.
Oh, my God. It's even worse
It's worse than you thought.
Randall Cobb's still on this team, by the
Randall
way.
Cobb.
Then it goes Chris Conley, Chris Moore, Isaiah Coulter, Andre Roberts, Dante Moncrief, Alex Erickson. That looks like a roster you would sign in Madden when you willfully wanted to lose every game.
That's a lot of speedy guys, though.
Is it, though?
I mean, Alex Erickson, he's fast. He's a good punt returner.
Is he, though?
Yeah.
I've never
Your
seen
point's
the
taken.
bottom. I've never seen the bottom 10% of the NFL be this bad.
No, I feel like every year we have teams that are like this, that are
Not like this.
2 to 3 wins and
Not like this that you willfully know they're trying not to win games. Mm-hmm. I'm curious of something.
Okay. Somebody's going to take a bite at the Justin Fields apple.
I
He's
don't
not
disagree.
falling far in this draft. He will get drafted by Atlanta at 4, maybe. Carolina's at 8, Denver's at 9, Philadelphia at 12, New England at 15. All of these teams are going to be like, oh, Justin Fields fell in our lap. At least that's going to be the fan base. Now, the front office might be like, yeah, we could work with that.
The front office will be like,
15.
that's sad. Set some lofty expectations.
I mean, they'll be like, it's worth a shot at 15 in the draft. Maybe we could do something with him. Justin Fields sitting behind Cam Newton learning for a year. That's got success written all over it, baby.
Just since we're talking about the bottom end.
Yeah.
I think we can universally say all three of those teams are going to win 3 games or less, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the last time that many teams didn't win more than 3 games?
19.
No, it's not that long.
Okay.
I hate doing these games with you. Because you either say last year or 1943.
No, I was going to go 1996.
5 years ago.
It was 5 years ago?
There have been 2 years in the last 5 where the worst team in the league had 4 wins. This is the worst I've seen the bottom of this league in a long time.
Okay.
And there are a couple teams that I'm not even talking about
Like?
that are awfully bad. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the Jaguars are horribly bad.
Mm-hmm. And then?
There's not many.
There's not many more.
The others are so bad that I can't put anybody else in their tier. I look at the Patriots. The Patriots suck. Patriots suck. Bengals suck. I don't think the Broncos are good if they go into the season with Drew Lock. I don't think the Seahawks are good. I don't think the Falcons are good. I don't think the Bears are good.
But they're not bad.
They're all bad. The opposite of good is bad. That is typically how that goes. If you're not good, you are probably bad.
No.
What team that I just said do you think could actually win 7 games?
The New England Patriots.
You're drunk
Easy.
as fuck. Is Cam Newton still their quarterback, yes or no? Okay.
Yes.
Do you think he's going to get better at 33? You think he's that the guy we saw last year is going to markedly improve?
Yes.
That's a fool's fucking errand. You do realize he's regressed every year since the MVP year.
Okay.
But you think he's going to throw a wrench in that at 33 years old?
No, I feel like that's a 9-win team at worst.
You're drunk as. Oh, let's play this game. Since I already did it with the Lions and I've already got it pulled up, let's do it again. Mm-hmm. Because I know who we play as a division, and it's ugly as shit.
I mean, you may not like all of the moves that they made in free agency, but
They're
this
bad.
team is better than it was last year.
I don't really agree with that, honestly. Are they? So you're telling me they're
how-
better at receiver with Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne?
Yes.
I disagree with you vehemently.
How?
I'm not saying they're not better. They're not markedly better. That's not drastically better than Julian
I'm not
Edelman
saying
and
it's
N'Keal Harris.
drastically. You said, are they better? Yes, they are better.
Barely. Fucking barely. Okay, here's the games they play at home. Bills, Dolphins, Jets. They'll lose all three of those. Jaguars. You'll get that one. Titans, Saints, Buccaneers, Browns, Cowboys. You tell me who of those games they beat.
Yeah.
Who do they beat? They're not beating one of the teams I just said. That's their home games, by the way. On the road, they play the Falcons. You might steal that one. You might steal the Panthers on the road, and you might beat the Texans. Other than that, you play the Bills, the Colts, the Chargers, the Dolphins, and the Jets. Good fucking luck. You're telling me I can bet under 7.5 wins for New England? Oh.
Hey, you did it again.
I got to get rid of the cords are in the way.
No, I think they're going to be right there, middle of the pack
It's comical to
again.
me that you jumped off the train that we were on last year. We were right last year. You got fooled by the fact that they did a little bit in free agency. They overspent on every. Name me an impact guy outside of Matt Judon. Name me one. Name me the impact guy. Cool. You spent a shitload of money. It doesn't mean you got better. Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. Whoop-de-fucking-do. You still have Cam Newton throwing to him. Hunter Henry lives hurt. Jonnu Smith's never had more than 600 yards in a year. Congratulations.
And the two of them together in this system, I think, can be successful.
It's so comical to me that you say in this system.
Yeah.
It really is that you think this system wasn't all Tom Brady. All of it. Name me the tight end that played with Matt Castle. Oh, wait. Nobody fucking remembers. Because it doesn't matter. It's not the system. This is not a heavy tight end system. That's a comical myth. Because Aaron Hernandez played in the slot more than he played in line ever. Guess what? Neither of these guys can do that. Neither. You put a square peg in a round hole because Bill Belichick doesn't want to be the worst team in the fucking NFL, and he knows that he's one of the 8 worst, and it's not debatable. You have the worst quarterback situation in the NFL.
Your blind hatred for Bill Belichick.
This is not a blind hatred. What position are they good at? You tell me right now, what does this team do well? You think they're going to throw it well?
They have 2 good tight ends.
Okay, you still have a fucking quarterback. That's like saying I have 2 beautiful Maseratis and I can't drive a stick shift.
You act like Cam Newton can't hit any receivers.
He's been over 65% accurate one time in his fucking career.
And it was last
He's
year.
the most inaccurate quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
And it was last year.
Okay, you're not this stupid. You're literally trying to goad me. There's no other fucking explanation for this. Name me a starting quarterback in the NFL worse than Cam Newton right now. We've been over this 50 fucking times. If you say Andy Dalton, I'm going to laugh at you aggressively. Because Andy Dalton at this point is better than Cam Newton. It's not even debatable. Who's worse? You want to go Baker Mayfield because you're drunk?
Tyrod Taylor.
Okay, they still have Deshaun Watson. So until he gets knocked off the top of the depth chart, that's still the starter. Keep going. Who else you got? Jared Goff? Every team in the NFL will take Jared Goff over Cam Newton. It's not even debatable. Every team in the league's had a shot at Cam Newton 2 times. You know what they all said? We'll pass. We're good.
Okay.
I don't care how much ancillary shit. You still never answered my question. What do you do well? Can you get after the quarterback? No.
Not really, but you just added
Can you
Matthew
stop the
Judon,
run?
so that gets better.
Can you stop the run? Hey, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine. Can you throw? Oh, no. And you had the worst yards per carry in the NFL last year. So you can't run, you can't throw, you can't stop the pass, or you can't rush the passer, and you're a decently good run-stopping team. Okay, you know what this sounds like to me? 4-13. That's what that screams to me.
They don't do any of those things exceptionally well, but
They don't do any of them well, period. They don't do any of them well, period. Name me a team in the NFL that threw for less yards than New England Patriots last year. I'll save you the time. There's not fucking one. And it wasn't
they
even
didn't have
close.
any receivers.
Jesus Christ. You drafted 2 tight ends in the 3rd round and you act like you're bereft of talent. No, you're bereft of talent at quarterback. I don't give a flying rat's ass who you put outside Cam Newton. Name me the receiver he's made better. I'll wait.
Oh, the receiver that Cam Newton's made
that he's
better?
made better. Say Greg Olsen. Please say Greg Olsen. Because he was pretty fucking good in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't make him better.
No.
And so you're telling me Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, who have exactly 0,000-yard seasons combined, all of a sudden turning this into a juggernaut offense that you should be super scared of?
I didn't say
I just
that.
told you every team they play. Tell me who they beat. I get so pissed off when people say, "Oh, your blind hatred as a Jets fan." No. At this point, I hate the Dolphins and the Bills way more than I hate the Patriots because the Patriots are fucking irrelevant. They're the Houston Texans of the AFC East. I could care less. I know you're no threat to win shit. You're irrelevant to me. Now look at Buffalo, who has a 25-year-old starting quarterback, and Miami that has one that's 23, and I go, now that could be a problem. And has spent their money well.
Adam Black, I agree with that. What Adam Black said, Cam Newton isn't good, but when he had a tight end, he was pretty good.
A tight end that was
with Greg Olsen.
Good before he got there.
Well, I'm not saying he did. Cam Newton is not a quarterback that has ever made a receiver better. Absolutely not.
You Panther fans crack me up.
He's
Greg
had
Olsen,
Steve Smith. He's had Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen, stop that with your Greg Olsen hatred.
It's not a hatred. You crack me up with this. You make it sound like Greg Olsen was fucking Ozzie Newsome. No, he wasn't. He was a good tight end in a system where the quarterback couldn't throw to any of the receivers. That's all he was. You think he's a Hall of Famer, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life.
Instant.
You're drunk. I think there are 11 tight ends in the Hall of Fame total.
And Greg Olsen will be there one day.
No, he won't.
Yeah, he will.
No, he won't. I hope we do this for long enough for me to show you who else. He won't last on the ballot for more than 2 years.
And you're so wrong about that.
As a matter of fact, he did make a Pro Bowl, so he actually does qualify for the ballot. He made 3 Pro Bowls in his career, by the way.
Yep.
Played 400 years, made 3 Pro Bowls. And that's a no-doubt Hall of Famer. Okay. 6 tight ends make the Pro Bowl a year. 3 per conference. You made 3 of them. That's a no-doubt Hall of Famer. Okay, then.
True or false, Bill Belichick had the worst team he's ever had this year?
No, he had his worst team he's ever had when he was 4-12 in New England, getting ready to get fired before Tom Brady showed up. He wasn't that bad, but he was bad.
Okay, worst team in the last 20 years?
And this is the second worst team he's had in 20 years. Is that even debatable?
No.
There you go.
He won 7 games last year. You realize that?
Against the easiest schedule in the NFL. Not debatable. They played the easiest schedule in the NFL.
Okay.
Oh, let's play another fun game. I like these fun games when you say dumb shit, and it makes me really angry.
It's not dumb.
Because you're goading me, and I know exactly what you're doing.
I'm not goading you. I honestly believe that the New England Patriots are going to be a close to 500 team next year. And the fact that you can't see that drives me crazy, because this is why people say you're fucking blinded by your hatred for Bill Belichick.
Okay, then answer the fucking question I asked you. So to be close to 500, you have to win 8 games. You tell me who they beat. Bills at home. If you say yes, you're a fucking moron.
No.
Because they're 10 times better than New England. Miami. No shot. I'll give you the Jets twice. You're not going to beat them twice. I'll give it to you twice just to prove the point.
Okay.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. There's 3. You going to beat the Titans, Saints, Buccaneers, Browns, or Cowboys? Because the answer is no.
Maybe.
Who? Who are they going to beat? The Browns will beat them by 30.
Don't know.
The Buccaneers will slaughter them with Tom Brady coming back. I could give a damn less who's playing quarterback for the Saints.
They beat Baltimore last year. They beat one. I'm just saying, you don't know week in and week out how the games are going to shake out.
All right,
they could get one of these games.
And that's what you're doing. You're trying to tell me I'm blind hatred, and you're saying, well, I think weird shit happens in the NFL. Okay, if they play these games 10 out of 10 times, how many times does New England lose them? Because it's 7 minimum with every team I just said.
Absolutely.
All right, let's just for shits and giggles give you the New Orleans Saints. I'm not giving you the Cowboys or the Titans because they will smoke New England. That's 4. I'll give you the Falcons, even though I have absolutely no idea how they're going to stop them. You'll lose to the Bills. I'll give you the Panthers and Texans. You're at 7. That's with me giving you the Jets. Your remaining games are the Dolphins, Chargers, and Colts. Snowball's chance in hell you win any of those games.
Maybe the Chargers.
No. There is no shot you're going to beat those teams. So best case scenario, rosiest colored glasses I can put on, you're 7 and 10, and you're saying it's my blind hatred of the Jets, and you agreed with every word that came out of my mouth. And yet it's my blind hatred. And I'll be honest with you, I think they lose 3 of the games I just gave them. But it's so stupid to me that you're a fucking smart guy. And there's a lot of smart people in the media.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Belichick has been over 500 twice with any quarterback not named Tom Brady.
Yep.
And yet, it's Bill knows what he's doing. No team in the NFL would give Hunter Henry or Jonnu Smith half of what he gave them. Hey, but Bill knows what he's doing. He's great with tight ends. Jonnu Smith, who was fucking irrelevant to everything but fantasy football for 4 years. And Hunter Henry, who gets hurt every time he wipes his ass. Mm-hmm. But your blind blowing of Bill Belichick just blows my mind. He's never done anything from a personnel directive, and yet I'm a hater because I'm a Jets fan. Do I hate him? Absolutely. Have I said this same thing for 20 years? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, I have. Going for it on your own 40-yard line in the playoffs. Stupid. Mm-hmm. Taking 2 tight ends in the 3rd round of a draft, and I had one of them as an undrafted free agent. Stupid. And then you just had to pay to fix that fuck up. Stupid. But, yes, please keep kissing Bill Belichick's ass because, if they don't do anything well, they're not better than 2/3 of their schedule, but I'm sure they'll find a way to go 10-7.
See, it's the whole flipping of the 10-7. I didn't say that.
You said they're going to be right around 500.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, we just did this out loud. Best case scenario, 3 games that I don't think they stand a snowball's chance in Atlanta of winning, and they're 7-10. Mm-hmm. Best case scenario, everything goes your way. They're 10-7.
We also thought that they'd be a 4 to 5 win team this year, too.
I said they were a 6-10 team. They went 7-9.
Okay.
And I'm a hater. I said they were 6-10. And you got real fucking lucky. Mm-hmm. When you played the Las Vegas Raiders, they played their worst game of the season, and I think you threw for about 10 yards.
Yep. Weird shit happens. That's my point. And great coaching can lift a team.
Well, everybody just remember he said this when we do projections next year, and he has New England at 5-12 after he's blown a fucking blood vessel out of my head.
That's not going to happen because I think this team is a lot better than they did last year.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Just put a note on my desk.
Oh, jeez.
It's so fucking... I've never seen a coach in the history of sports that makes people just put their fingers in their ears and poke themselves in the eyes and go, I can't see it. I can't see anything. And you're a hater for not believing in him. No, I believe in Tom Brady. Because Tom went to Tampa and won a Super Bowl about 9 seconds after he left Bill. How'd it go for Bill?
It didn't go well.
Oh, and by the way, here's another thing I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
The only person in the room that Bill Belichick would ever listen to is the GM of the Houston Texans now. We've done this before. Remember Scott Pioli when things were really going well in New England?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he left, all of a sudden they started making really stupid personnel decisions. You know why? Because Bill doesn't have anybody to tell him to stop doing dumb shit. And that's just what he did in free agency. But I'm a hater. Oh, I'm a fucking hater. I was a hater last year, too. New England will go 12-4 and be back in the Super Bowl. Okay, cool. They went 7-9. They went 7-9, could easily have gone 5-11. And now you have a quarterback that's a year older, a year worse, and... oh, God, they got Nelson Aguilar. Woohoo! He had a 4-game stretch with the Las Vegas Raiders, and you gave him $10 million. Sweet.
Feel better?
No, because I want to throw something at you, but I'm not going to. Because I know that was your goal, and I think now I do have a fever because you pissed me off to such a point that I gave myself one.
Sorry. Anything else on football? Before I let you rip Dennis Schroder apart?
Oh, God. We didn't even get to college,
we did,
whatever.
And we'll do that this afternoon. We wanted to get into that conversation about the transfer portal and how shit's changing in college basketball. We'll get into that this afternoon on ESPN Asheville. I want to give you the opportunity, though, to weigh in on this. The Lakers apparently offered Dennis Schroder a max deal, 4 years, $84 million, and he turned it down. Because he thinks he can get more than that on the open market. No. Dennis Schroder thinks he's worth more than $21 million a year.
And he's dumb.
It was so to the point that, and so all the talk at the trade deadline of the Lakers are looking to make a move for Kyle Lowry, this was why. Was because they had apparently already offered the max extension to Dennis Schroder, and he said no, so they went, fuck it, we'll trade you. and we got to figure something out. We'll be glad to give Kyle Lowry the 2-year extension that he wants if we can make that deal happen. Because at that point, that can reset the books for us. 2 years with Kyle Lowry. LeBron's got 2 years left on his deal, and we can reset the books at that point.
So they offered him how much per year?
4 years, $84 million. So $21 million.
So $21 million. I'm looking at the cap sheet for next year.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he's going to get more on the open market. The Lakers retain his bird rights, so he'll be an unrestricted free agent, which means he loses those.
Okay.
Do you know how many teams in the NFL can actually have $21 million in cap space next year?
NBA? No.
Uh-huh. It's 11. That's if they renounce every player on the team.
Okay.
Would you like to hear who those teams are?
Yes.
Cleveland Cavaliers, Detroit Pistons, Chicago Bulls, Dallas Mavericks, Memphis Grizzlies, Miami Heat, Charlotte Hornets, Toronto Raptors, San Antonio Spurs, Oklahoma City Thunder, New York Knicks. There's not one of those teams that would be interested in him. Not one. Not one. And that's how many I think it's funny when guys get such bad advice from their agent.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to play in LA, that's fine. You're not getting more money than that. First of all, you're not worth that much money. They're offering you that because they're stuck.
Yep.
And if you walk, your bird rights are the most valuable part of you. They can go over the cap to sign you. If you walk, good luck.
I think that's part of the play, too, is he wants more from the Lakers. Because he feels like he's in a position of power here. Because they're kind of stuck, and they don't have a point guard moving forward. And so maybe I can leverage more from the Lakers. I don't feel like that's a good idea.
It's a very, very shitty idea.
Very poor idea. I mean, Dennis Schroder, he's an okay player.
He's fine.
But not worth $21 million a year. You talk about paying him the same amount that Fred VanVleet got last year.
And Fred VanVleet is 3 times the player of him, and it's not even debatable.
Mm-hmm. Probably 8 times the shooter that Dennis Schroder is.
I would say Dennis Schroeder's worth about the deal he signed with the Hawks a few years ago. $15.5 million a year. That's about where you fall in. That's what you'll get on the open market, too.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, oh, this is such a weak free agent class?
That's what he said.
Okay.
Said that the next free agent class is so thin, and maybe he's just talking at point guard, that it's so thin that he'll be able to command more than $21 million a year.
Yeah, this is just free agents. Let's just say he was talking about that.
Okay.
These are the guys that can be free agents. Chris Paul, Mike Conley, Kyle Lowry. They're all 3 better than you. I mean, Kyle Lowry is 900 years old, but I mean, they're all 3 older. Spencer Dinwiddie has a player option that I highly doubt he's going to kick in.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have Spencer Dinwiddie than Dennis Schroeder, and it's not all that close to me.
And he's been, even after the ACL. Right? Are you gonna shell out big money for a guy coming off ACL?
I would before I'd give $21 million to Dennis Schroeder.
Sure.
I'd give $15 million to Spencer Dinwiddie before I'd give $20 million to Dennis Schroeder.
Mm-hmm.
ACL, no ACL, I don't care.
There was also the headline this morning that the Nets tried to trade Spencer Dinwiddie to the Warriors for Kelly Oubre.
That doesn't surprise me. They offered Dinwiddie to a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm. But, of course, the Warriors wouldn't do it because Spencer Dinwiddie's hurt. But I feel like you'd have been in a better spot if you'd have taken Spencer Dinwiddie and just waited till next year.
There are a few players in the history of the NBA that I have understood less than Kelly Oubre. Yeah. There were a shitload of teams that were trying to procure him from the Warriors, and I just don't get it. I've never gotten it. He's a volume player. Mm-hmm. There's nothing efficient about him, and NBA GMs crack me up. Just find a way to get a player that's half-assed.
Uh-huh. Because they can fill a role, they can fill a need. And on a team of superstars, sure, Kelly Oubre can be a valuable piece. Put him with Brooklyn, how does he make them better?
Oubre doesn't. They were trying to load up for this run.
Mm-hmm. He's just another guy to try to hit some buckets. We're going to outscore everybody, so fuck it, we'll just get all the firepower that we can. Because we've got, a 2-year run of this, 3 years at the most in Brooklyn. So I just thought, when I saw that this morning, that not Kelly Oubre, that Dennis Schroder turned down $21 million a year, that guy's going to regret that decision in a massive way. And the Lakers are stupid if they pay him. But there again, they may be stuck and may be forced to pay him. Or do you think Chris Paul comes in and plays next year? Chris Paul joins his best buddy LeBron next year with the Lakers.
He seems to be having a shitload of fun in Phoenix.
He does. But is that team going to be able to win a title? See, at this point,
the 2 seed in the West right now.
See, at this point, when you get this close this close to the end of your career, you have to start thinking about that. Or I would be, as a superstar player. It's the one thing that I haven't done yet. Win a title.
I don't know that Chris Paul's going to take that level of pay cut. What it would take to get him to LA.
Yeah.
Could he? Absolutely.
Anywho, we'll be with you this afternoon on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
That's if I don't beat him in the head with one of these jugs first.
We've had an entertaining morning this morning, and you're welcome for that. We will be with you this afternoon on ESPN Asheville, 3 to 5 every weekday afternoon. You can hear it everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Of course, here in the Sportsocracy, every weekday morning at 9 a.m., save for tomorrow. We are going to take tomorrow off. We will not be with you here in the morning or on ESPN Asheville, as tomorrow's opening day in baseball. The Braves.
And they wanted to stay away from my sick, angry ass for a day if they had the opportunity.
Yeah. The Braves are going to be on tomorrow afternoon for opening day of the baseball season. So we'll be preempting the radio show, and we just decided we are going to let him rest up a little bit tomorrow, hopefully get over this crud that he's got. So thoughts and prayers, everybody, for Jeremy to get better. We'll be back with you here in the Sportsocracy on Friday. Keep looking out for our team-by-team free agent grades. We will continue with those. Today we've got the NFC South, I believe, is the next one up.
The NFC West will be coming out tomorrow.
Yep.
While we're away. And then I'm going to spend my day off finishing my 7-round mock draft. I will have every pick projected for your team between now and the draft.
Better me, or better you than me.
That's like my Christmas. That's good shit to me.
No. So look forward to all of that content. And how can you find it? Just click the subscribe button here in the Sportsocracy on YouTube.
Little beer logo, bottom right-hand corner.
We are live in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. We'll see you this afternoon.